This video will show instructors how to use the Turnitin system integration with Canvas. Turnitin is a system that allows you to accept online writing assignments from your students. Turnitin will check the composition written by your students and check it for originality and show sources of potential plagiarism. For this video tutorial, I've got an example assignment already created. We'll come back to that later. Right now, I'll show how it was set up. Inside of a Canvas course, you should create an assignment as you normally would by using the Assignments tab. Click New Assignment and give it a title. You can also set up the points and the deadline by which it is due as you normally would for any other assignment in Canvas. I'm going to publish the assignment in Canvas for this tutorial, but I could also hold off on this step until I'm ready to show this to the students in the course. Turnitin is an external system that Canvas can communicate with. Turnitin.com existed as a separate website service and subscription for instructors and students to use prior to any learning management system integration, and it still can be used this way outside of any LMS integration if desired. Canvas is a supported learning management system that can integrate Turnitin.com directly into a writing assignment. Instructors already familiar with Turnitin.com and Canvas may remember that there used to be a checkbox in the assignment settings in Canvas. This has now become a deprecated method for Canvas to talk to Turnitin. So as of this tutorial, the way Canvas works with Turnitin is via the external tool submission type. We'll choose that from the menu here. When we do this, a Find dialog allows for the selection of many different external tools. I'm going to scroll down and find Turnitin Originality Check Assignment and select it. It's best practice to not check the box that opens the assignment in a new tab or window. I'm also going to put the instructions for the assignment that I want the students to follow in the Canvas assignment description area here. To finish my work, I'm going to scroll down and save the assignment. The very first time you use this method of assignment submission, Canvas creates a Turnitin account on your behalf. Turnitin displays an end-user agreement. Click on Agree to continue. The next time you create an assignment of this type, you will not have to do this step. What you see now is the Turnitin interface being displayed inside of your Canvas course assignment shell. The assignment inbox displays any student submissions. Since this is a newly created assignment, there shouldn't be any submissions yet. Additional settings you might want to be aware of are in the Settings tab. You will notice that Turnitin has taken the deadline selected in Canvas as the deadline of the Turnitin side of things. I can tweak these separately from the deadline I selected in the Canvas course, but for now I will leave them as configured. Other important settings that are purely optional are here under Optional Settings. Notice that the default for the originality report being displayed to students is set to No. If I'm teaching a course that the students need immediate feedback of their composition's originality, I may elect to set this to Yes. Otherwise, the originality report will only be available to you and anyone else in the teacher or TA role in the course. One other issue is that at the time of this video recording, Canvas does not display any grading rubrics that you create or may have created in Canvas to the student. You can still use Canvas rubrics and the SpeedGrader to assess student work, but the Canvas rubric will only show to the student when they go to look at the grade. Until Canvas decides to change this, the only workaround is to create a representation of the rubric in another form by embedding an image in the instructions, or by creating a copy or representation of the rubric in a document and linking that document in the assignment instructions. Once you are satisfied with the settings in the Turnitin part of the assignment setup, you can save them by clicking this button. If you need to make changes to the scheduled due date in Canvas, be sure that you come back to the settings in the Turnitin assignment to be sure that they align properly, as Canvas might not communicate those changes to the Turnitin configuration for the students. So remember that the Turnitin settings inside of the assignment are performed here, and the Canvas assignment settings are performed here. Now, let's go back to the other assignment that was previously configured in this demonstration. When I visit it, I can see the student submissions here and the originality report right from the assignment. I can also use SpeedGrader to look at the student submission and originality report. I can also comment on the student submission in SpeedGrader and assess the work as I normally might prefer using the tools in the Canvas SpeedGrader. One last thing about this setup when migrating course content from one course to another, say in the case of copying your spring course shell to a fall course shell, because the act of creating the assignment for the first time is actually what tells Turnitin to generate the student submission area, it's best practice for the instructor to open each assignment requiring Turnitin originality checking within your newly copied Canvas course at the start of a semester, or at least prior to each deadline to be sure the assignment submission area is properly created for the student. Errors may display for your students if this isn't done. This concludes the instructor orientation to Turnitin and Canvas. If you have questions or other support needs, please contact your campus Center for Teaching and Learning department.